Hello everybody and welcome to Brave Jake. I'm going to be releasing superhero videos with new characters in a whole new universe, the Ghostverse, this year. And here is the second video of the year. I've got my superhero mask on, I know the rules of super speed, my heart is already pumping, so why don't you get pumped with me? Tonight, we're talking about a supervillain called the Lion God. The Lion God's superpowers are very simple. Every lie he tells comes true. If he says he's 10 feet tall, he's 10 feet tall. If he says he can't die, he can't die. The only way to beat him is to gag him, cover his mouth so he can't tell more lies. But bad news for the superheroes of Mega City, he just got out of prison. They locked him in prison, idiots. He pulled at his teeth as he walked down the hallway. They'd had him gagged with a machine against his tongue, so he couldn't tell lies. Hero killer robots, ones designed to take superpowered threats and end them, rushed into the chamber. I have unbreakable skin, the Lion God said. They attacked, broke their bones against Lion God's unbreakable skin. The Lion God chuckled. That was the thing. Every lie the Lion God told, it had a tendency to come true. 8 years ago, Jack was 6 years old, standing in line with 3 other children. One of them would go on to become the greatest hero in Mega City. But for now, their teacher was that hero. Mega Punch, 300 pounds of muscle in a red cape, put his hands out. This isn't a school. We won't have lessons because we're at war. Jack looked over at the city wall, saw the hero killer robots trying to get into it, and in a flash of green and blue, he saw the heroes fighting against them. He cowered in fear. Mega Punch, sir, we have to fight those things? The hero killers were scary. Mega Punch clenched his teeth. I wish you wouldn't have to, my boy, but if you don't help us, everyone will have to fight. The boy standing next to Jack chuckled. I'm not afraid, Dad. I want to fight. Mega Punch hid a smile. Jack looked at Alexander, Mega Punch's son, with awe in his eyes. The girl standing next to him raised her hand. Mega Punch raised an eyebrow. Now really isn't the time for questions, Sabrina. The girl with white hair faded in and out of view. She could turn invisible. Her dad was Ghostman, so that made sense. Both other kids had superpowered parents. The other kids. But Jack was alone. After the Lion God killed the rest of the hero killers, he stood at the bottom of the elevator. I'm stronger than 100 men. I can fly, he said simply. Even though they were lies, they came true. He felt strength surge. He ripped the elevator door off its hinges like it was nothing. He flew up the elevator shaft. Alarms sounded everywhere. Alerts to Mega Punch, to Ghostman, to the Society of Heroes. But it didn't matter. Most of the heroes were dead. The Lion God stepped into the entrance of the supervillain prison, a building's unassuming lobby. Outside the window was sunlight, the first sunlight he'd seen in 2 years. He tried not to cry, but no one was around, so he did. Stop! You're hurting me! Alexander punched Jack in the face, knocking him into the dirt. Ghostman barked orders at them. Hands up, Miracle Boy! Jack tried to put his hands up, but Alexander was too fast. He flew up and punched Jack into the ground. Jack spit out blood onto the sand. Can't cast spells if you can't speak, huh? Jack's eyes glowed blue. Your clothes are gone. Alexander's costume ripped away, showing his tighty-whitey underwear. Sabrina came out of invisibility and started laughing at him. Alexander flushed red and flew into the sky. Jack smiled, looking at Ghostman. Ghostman hid a laugh too, shaking his head. Mega Punch crashed into the training arena. His face was covered in blood. Ghostman ran towards him. Mega Punch spoke. Wall broke. Heroes dead. Ghostman flew towards the wall. Jack gasped. Sabrina's eyes widened. Because coming through the wall were thousands of hero killer robots. Hero killers that would kill everyone Jack loved. The Lion God flew into the sky as the sun rose. He let the light wash away the prison stink on him. I have a palace in the sky, guarded by demons of my own creation. Immediately a palace constructed. It was made of marble and gold and glass. It floated in the sky. Demons made of white marble bowed down to the Lion God as he stepped foot into his home. I have beautiful maids to attend to me, the Lion God said. They appeared, smiling flirtatiously. The lion god stepped up the marble staircase and fell into a marble cushion, the most comfortable chair he'd sat in his entire life, and he felt empty. Jack was going to die. The robot shot lasers down onto the training arena. Sabrina turned invisible. Alexander's eyes glowed golden, and he jumped into the sky, fighting the robots. No! Megapunch reached out to him, but his son was fighting. Jack was shaking at his side. Megapunch was supposed to never die, and he had red marks around his neck. Something was stronger than him. Something was choking him. No air? Is that how Megapunch dies? Jack ran to his side. What can I do, Megapunch? How can I help? Megapunch coughed up blood. He looked up at the sky, helplessly. Help, Alexander. I know you boys don't get along, but please, save my son. Jack looked up at the hero killer robots. One landed in front of him, 10 feet tall with glowing red eyes. Megapunch, threat level 10. Miracle Boy, threat level Error. The hero killer shot lasers at Jack. He dove behind Megapunch, whose unbreakable skin stopped the lasers. Repeat after me. Jack hyperventilated. He screamed, Please, it's the only way. Jack looked at Megapunch. Aside him, Sabrina screamed. Hero killers grabbed her when she was invisible, pulling her little body apart. In seconds, they would rip her in half. All the hero robots are bubbles. Jack struggled to speak. All the hero robots are bubbles? The lion god's robes were on. He was fanned by his maids. Boom! Alexander, wearing his dead father's costume, crashed through the floor of the palace. Lion god, I'm bringing you in! The lion god chuckled. You. Sorry to do this, chum. A man in medical scrubs and glowing red eyes stepped out of a red portal. Sandus Caxus! The lion god tried to speak, but there was too much sand in his mouth. Sand was flowing into his throat, choking him. You're going down. From behind him, Ghostman phased through a wall with a collar in his hand. The collar he wore for 2 years. The collar that made it impossible for him to speak. The lion god dove to the ground as Ghostman put it onto his mouth. Jack opened his eyes. The noises stopped. Megapunch was still hurt, but he was smiling. Proud. You did it. Jack looked at the wall. The robot in front of him. They were gone. The only thing in front of him were bubbles floating to the sky. Alexander crashed into the ground. Dad, you... Megapunch hugged Jack. Jack was shocked. This whole time he thought he was the weakest, the worst hero. He didn't even have a superpowered dad. He didn't know who his parents were. But still, you saved us. Sabrina walked towards him, smiling. She was so cute, with her white hair. Jack blushed. But that's not fair, Alexander said. You did well, son. But Jack has the most power I've ever seen from a Serum-born hero. Every lie he tells comes true, apparently. Heroes flew in from everywhere. Ghostman, Ocean Man, Dr. Insane. Megapunch put Jack on his shoulders. They cheered for him. The war was over. Alexander's eyes glowed with hate. The lion god scrambled across the floor of his palace. The sand was flowing everywhere out of his mouth. Grab him, Ghostman said. Alexander flew after the lion god. A demon jumped onto him, but Alexander smashed the marble into nothing. He was stronger than he was back then. So much stronger. The lion god spit the last of the sand out. No! Ghostman, Dr. Insane, and Alexander are... The lion god remembered. He remembered being a hero. Being lifted on Megapunch's shoulders. Being loved. Boom! Alexander hit the lion god in the face. He smashed through his sky palace, tore through the sky, and slammed into the ground, pushing buildings and concrete and skyscrapers up towards the sky. He had unbreakable skin, but that hurt. He'd only been hit like that once before. The heroes were relaxing. Music was playing. There was no war to fight anymore. It was won. Jack drank disgusting bubbly juice. Hey! Who gave you that champagne? Ghostman went over to him, but Jack drank the drink. He smirked. Ghostman shook his head. Megapunch walked over, smiling. Give him a break, Ghosty. As a matter of fact, Megapunch put a spoon against his champagne glass. The heroes went silent, smiling at him. I want to thank someone, because I did not win this war. The crowd booed and laughed, but Megapunch shook his head. I didn't. I want to thank my student. One who I chose to train because the enemy was at our gates, and we had no other choice. The student who saved us all. Jack saw Alexander perk up in the crowd, smiling. Megapunch looked at Alexander, then sighed. He turned to Jack. I'm going to continue the video in 1 second, but before we do, I want to introduce you to someone. I am Patreon Alligator, and I'm here to tell you that Jake posts 1 extra video on Patreon per month. Learn about each character's origin story, dive deep into the lore of Mega City, and even read the scripts of the videos before they get released. For $7 a month, you get over an hour of exclusive videos. Patreon Alligator, don't you think they were selling them a little hard? No. For $35, you can read the scripts, and for $1,000, Jake will help you with a creative project of your choice. He'll even go on a date with you if you want. Okay, that's enough. Back to the video. Please, a round of applause for Miracle Boy. The heroes cheered for Jack. Even Ghostman clapped. Alexander's eyes glowed. Jack smiled. Mega Punch put him back on his shoulders. Without him, we surely would have— No! Alexander flew up and punched Jack in the face, sending him falling onto the ground. Jack bled onto the tiles. He gasped. He's not that strong. Look, I beat him, Alexander said. Alexander, that's enough. Alexander flew towards Jack. Jack's eyes glowed blue. He'd seen something. A weakness Mega Punch and Alexander shared. The one thing that could stop them. Alexander can't breathe, Jack said. Alexander choked. He fell to the ground. Strength sapped away. He was gasping. The power left his eyes. Dr. Insane ran to him. Axaxel, give me a spell! He can't stop it, Ghostman said. Mega Punch grabbed Jack by the shirt. Reverse the magic, Jack. Why should I? He hurt me. Mega Punch's eyes glowed. Do it right now, or I'll smash you into the ground before you can speak. Right now! Alexander's face turned purple. He was dying. Jack smiled a little, thinking about that. He saw Sabrina run to Alexander, crying. Alexander can breathe again, Jack said. Alexander gasped for air. Jack turned to Mega Punch. I'm sorry! Phoom! Mega Punch smashed Jack into the ground. His ribs cracked. You have too much power. I'm sorry. I'm far away! Pop. Jack could barely say the words to heal himself. He could barely hide himself in time. Jack sat crying on a skyscraper, watching the heroes look for him. For a villain the newspapers were calling the Lying God. He thought about how he trusted Mega Punch, how Mega Punch almost killed him, and he vowed that he would never, ever trust anyone again. He would never be weak, ever again. The Lion God stumbled into the sewers, far away from where he crash landed, and still he was mumbling, never weak, never, ever again.